This video is sponsored by which? The launch of the iPhone 15 officially marks the end to the iPhone mini when Apple stopped selling the iPhone 13 mini due to nobody buying it. But looking at the views that these videos get on YouTube and the fact that everyone who has used the iPhone 13 mini says that they love it, it would seem that there are indeed a lot of people who are interested, at least at the prospect of downsizing their phone. So after the last few weeks, I carried out my own test to see whether downsizing from an iPhone 15 Pro Max, the biggest phone, to an iPhone 13 mini, the smallest phone, in 2024 is in fact great, or if perhaps it's a case of kind of Instagram versus reality, where the reality is that it's not actually practical. Now for most people, switching to a smaller phone might be seen as a downgrade, but they would actually be wrong because those who do actually switch, they see it as an upgrade. The iPhone 13 mini is small, it's lightweight, which means it can actually do things that its bigger brothers and sisters can't do, like not fall out of my pocket when getting into my car, like being able to use it comfortably in one hand without using the claw grip, which we've all become accustomed to recently when using these like larger and heavier phones. And that lightweight means when using my favorite magnetic case, it doesn't lose its grip like it can sometimes do with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But there's also one of the biggest unseen benefits of downsizing to a mini iPhone. And I think the reason why a lot of people do or did buy the iPhone 13 mini is in part down to what it's not good for. So usability aside, when looking at the specs, the iPhone 13 mini is just starting to show its age now that the iPhone 15 has been released. It's a 5.4-inch display compared to a 6.7-inch on the 15 Pro Max. Still an OLED display, but with the mini running at 60 Hz instead of the 120 Hz ProMotion of the 15 Max, though most people probably can't tell the difference. The 13 mini is now using a 2-year-old chip, the A15 Bionic, versus the new A17 Pro chip. And of course, the battery life is the big one to compare here. 2,406 milliamp hours compared to 4,422 milliamp hours. But the good news here is that the iPhone 13 mini does still keep MagSafe charging. Now, I'm a firm fan of MagSafe charging. I have a ton of wireless chargers around the house, like MagSafe everywhere pretty much. And this definitely is needed in this situation because having finally gotten USB-C on the iPhone 15, going back to Lightning is a huge step back. So I'm glad to be able to charge this wirelessly and not really worry about finding a Lightning cable again. And my experience of the 13 mini has been mixed at best, especially when I first picked up the phone. In fact, the first few days I found myself chewing through battery by like midday. But as time went on, the battery did get better, and that's because something strange happened as I used this phone more and more. Now to begin with, I picked up the phone expecting it to totally replace my iPhone 15 Pro Max in everything I was used to. And for me, that's setting a really high expectation from the get-go. Now my typical daily routine begins around 7 AM in the morning and genuinely ends most days around midnight to 1 AM each day after a late night session of Fortnite with my friends each night. It involves checking my phone hundreds of times a day. Yeah, I know, like super unhealthy. And it was a real challenge, particularly when it came to using the camera. And it's reasons like these, which is why so many people are saying that the iPhone 15 series of phones are some of the best iPhones ever made. Obviously, they say that every year.
These are the best and most capable iPhones we've ever made.
And which, who are kindly sponsoring this video, even rated the iPhone 15 Pro highly in their top 50 products of 2023, which is one of many free pieces of content which produces, along with plenty of other free content. When you sign up to a paid subscription, you get access to in-depth product reviews, products and price comparisons, one-to-one buying advice, and much more. Now, outside of the paid content, which also provides a ton of free content such as the best laptop deals, advice on avoiding the latest scams, and loads of free news and advice articles like the top 50 products of the year. But this is the thing with many tech reviews. I am really cynical about any type of tech review or comparison nowadays because so many just exist to get you to buy something using their affiliate link. And instead of actually recommending what is actually the better product, they'll recommend whichever will simply pay them more money. Totally dishonest, not genuine, and it's just made me so cynical about everything I see online. Now, we got chatting to Which before Christmas, so I decided to take the plunge myself, and I bought not only myself a subscription, but I bought one at a really good price for my dad as well as a gift for Christmas. And I've been surprised at actually how useful it's become. I was chatting to a friend of mine just 2 days ago about my thoughts on the Ring doorbell, And I actually showed him the Which review of this because, again, being very aware of my own personal bias, it was a way to show him a genuine expert and independent opinion. And Which even put together their top 50 products of 2023, which features products such as baked beans, but you'll have to follow the link down below to find out why baked beans features in their top 50. Now the way Which works.
You're saying it weird. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
This is gonna be fun. So you can access a ton of expert research on more than just tech, as well as options for digital and of course, physical print magazines with all of their latest reviews. Now using that top 50 products of 2023 as an example, it's been whittled down from over 3,000 products that they tested throughout 2023. Plus, they also try and help you find the best deals for those products. So if you want genuinely independent expert advice for the best products and deals, saving you time and money, then check out Which's top 50 products of 2023 via the link down below. Now back to the camera test. Now it was Christmas and New Year's, and I had the option of using the iPhone 13 mini with its dual cameras or the iPhone 15 Pro Max with its 6 or 7 different lenses. And I did find myself reaching for the 15 Pro Max. No matter how far out of the way I put it to try and force myself to use the mini. Now my kids are the perfect age for Christmas to remember, all the adventures we go on. We did New York, went to some really cool nighttime light walks. And whilst I did capture a few shots on the 13 mini, they just felt lacking, completely underwhelming in comparison to the photos and the videos I was able to capture on the 15 Pro Max with its, Pro series of lenses. But it was really in the second half of switching to the mini where things just clicked for me. Battery life was lasting longer. I was enjoying carrying this phone around with me way more than the 15 Pro Max. I was just enjoying using it more than the 15 Pro Max. And that's because I realized that I'd uncovered the biggest and really unseen benefit to downsizing to a mini iPhone. And as counterintuitive as it might sound, is because I wasn't using it that much. I didn't want to sit there and scroll along email on such a small screen, so instead I'd wait until later that day or the evening when I could grab my laptop and then respond on my laptop. I didn't get caught up scrolling TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and all the socials because it's not that giant screen of distraction in front of you. So the biggest unseen benefit of downsizing was that I was actually using my phone less, and that means I was spending more time with my family, with my kids. I just wasn't distracted. I was actually present and enjoying the moments with them every day that I kind of use this phone. And so the realization is that I was looking at this phone completely wrong. It's not the question of whether the iPhone 13 mini can replace the 15 Pro Max. It just can't. It's not up there. The cameras don't stack up. The battery life isn't as good. The screen is too small for content consumption. But the question though is it enough? Are the cameras enough to capture moments? Is the battery enough for a pretty powerful computer squeezed into a small phone? Is the screen enough to serve its purpose? And the answer to that question for the majority of people, and I'll repeat that because it's important, for the majority of people, the iPhone 13 mini is enough. So do I think you should buy an iPhone 13 mini in 2024? No. No, I don't think you should buy an iPhone 13 mini in 2024 because if rumors are to be believed, we are about to see the next generation iPhone SE launch in probably the next couple of months or so. And even though the iPhone 13 mini has been killed off by Apple, the 2024 SE is basically going to be a very, very similar phone to the iPhone 13 mini in that it's going to be like an iPhone 14 or 15, but it's going to be small. You get all the same benefits of a small phone like I've mentioned, but you get all the benefits of a faster phone with a bigger battery, Face ID, better cameras, potentially dynamic island as well, and importantly, USB-C. Thank you, EU. So my recommendation would be that if you want the best phone, stick with the iPhone 15, probably the Pro or the Pro Max if you want the best phone. But if you want a good phone, one that's good enough, then hold out for the iPhone SE in 2024, maybe the next few weeks or so. And I'm going to review the heck out of that phone when it is released. So make sure you subscribe to see that one. Huge thank you to Which for sponsoring this video, and head over to Patreon to catch the after show. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.